Hi everyone. The TD Ottawa Jazz Festival would like nothing more than to welcome you to our main stage at Confederation Park, downtown Ottawa. That's our home. But as we all know, that's not going to happen. So we've got the next best thing and are bringing the music to you through a series called Tenacity, which will unfold every day for the next 10 days and will feature some of the brightest and most unique artists from all over the world. You'll get to meet and hear artists from Berlin, New York, Boston, Vancouver, Ottawa, Serbia, and other places. This series is different. This series is Jazz Today. It's vibrant, courageous, tenacious, and masterfully original. Thanks for joining us. This is Jazz in 2020.
Good evening once again, and welcome to OLG Chats. I'm James Hale from Downbeat Magazine, and each day of Tenacity, I'll be talking to some of the incredible improvising artists who will be sharing their music with us. Tonight, we welcome someone who's no stranger to the TD Ottawa Jazz Festival stage. It's our own Kellylee Evans, and she's going to be performing with her band, along with a very special guest, the terrific saxophonist Seamus Blake, originally Canadian, yet living in New York for a long time now. So stay tuned for that. But first, we welcome Kellylee Evans to the OLG Chats room. Hey, stranger, how are you?
Hello!
Last time we saw each other was at the Winter Jazz Festival.
Right, yeah.
Before the world went away.
What world?
Yeah, well, we've been making it a point not to dwell too much on the lockdown this week because, everyone's bored with that topic. But I did want to ask you about your experience because you're one of the few people I know who went through something similar following your accident a few years ago when you couldn't perform. So I'm wondering if that prepared you at all for this situation or if it just was like deja vu and no, not again.
Totally prepared. Like it felt, yeah, it feels very similar. And also like I wasn't feeling 100% when when the initial quarantine of the 14th, because I came back from France on March 14th, and then I had a real quarantine away from everybody for the 14 days. And I went out for a walk in my neighborhood, and I guess my body was like, walking, what are you thinking? And so I didn't feel great. So it really did feel like deja vu. I was like, oh, this again. So I mean, I'm still getting back to feeling better. Because my symptoms just have never gone completely from the initial accident. Yeah. So yeah, this feels real familiar. And the only difference is like I got a bunch of people I can complain with. Like the whole world.
The rest of the world.
They're like, nobody cares now about my story. They're like, whatever, Kelly, we're doing this with you.
Yeah, but I got hit by lightning. Come on.
Yeah, what about the lightning? Come on.
Did you get hit by lightning? No.
Yeah, they don't care.
So you had all your kids with you at home during lockdown?
Yeah, but they live with me anyway, so.
But they were schooling and everything at home and
what school? What's that?
Fighting and all that stuff.
Oh my God. Like school? Seriously. Like, I don't know. School. Just let's not talk about school.
Yeah.
Basically, we're just doing our best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lately, when I've seen you when you're not playing, it's been in your kind of secondary role as a motivational speaker and a mentor for students at Carleton University. I was wondering if that positivity that you pass on to others gave you some strength to apply to your own situation during this time.
I definitely think that is something that I've been doing. But I think what I learned starting after the death of my mom, like when my mom passed away about 21 years ago, I think I just thought that positivity is just like, you just have it or you don't have it. But that experience helped me realize that it's a practice. Like you need to add into it. Like it's not a never ending account. You have to do things constantly to help that. So, writing gratitudes every day is still something that I do, and making lists, like love lists of things I love about people and things. Those things are helpful because honestly, it's very, very, very easy to dwell on what annoys you about people when you live with people all the time. And you can't leave your house. You know what I'm saying? You understand me, James Hale?
Yeah, just a little bit.
You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. So yeah, and I think like, especially for musicians that tour, you know, you're with the same people constantly as you go to different cities. So you have to really focus on like what's awesome about people and like not the opposite, or else things can devolve into a very unhappy place very quickly. So that's something that I learned after my mom passed away. Why? Because my mom was light. Like she was just always like very effervescent. And when she passed away and I didn't have that constant person like pumping that all the time, I was like, oh, this takes work, you know? So I had to be that for myself. And I hope I get to continue to be that for my family. I hope they think of me in that way, although they're teenagers, so maybe not.
You know what Bruce Springsteen said about your teenagers. You know, even when you're Bruce Springsteen, he said like, kids, you know, they don't think I'm cool or interesting.
No, not at all.
Your dad.
Not at all. Yeah, I'll be like, I got an interview. It's like, yeah, I really need to finish this game. You know, did you want to come in, like, see me perform? Is there Wi-Fi in the green room? Yeah.
Okay, enough with the lockdown talk. What plans does Kellylee have for busting out of here? Like, what are you putting in place for when people can sing in public again?
Oh man, you know, I'm feeling everybody's coming up with these like awesome ideas on like how to make music and how to make music in these times. And I still have a few gigs that what am I saying? I have one gig that was moved from the summer to November in France. So that's a possibility. Although, like, do I really want to go on an airplane right now? Not so much. Sorry, airline business. sorry, airline industry. But I'm just being honest, you know. But gives us till November. So like that's something that'll probably be. I mean, who knows what that'll even look like? But I know Blues Fest. I'm going to be part of Blues Fest on July 31st. That's their opening day, and they're doing a drive-in festival with the NAC, and like that's a neat concept. And then, you know, this concept that the Ottawa Jazz Fest put together has been really fun because you get to create with people that you normally would never create with. I mean, I've met Seamus, but I've never played with him before. So this is a great opportunity for me. Some of the other festivals that I've worked with this year have come up with just like Music and Beyond Tool Fest, like they've come up with these neat concepts to help us still continue to make music. So that's things like that just keep coming in, you know, and they're not, you don't think that you're going to have anything, but that's there. So I can say that I have no clue what their year is going to look like. None at all. Because people keep coming up with these neat concepts and you're just like, oh, okay, sure, I'll try that. You know? Yeah.
I'm gonna run this by you. You may not have heard this yet. But it came up the other night in our conversation with Chris Davis. A lot of clubs that are reopening in the U.S. have banned singers. Yeah, I heard. There's out west too. Out west in our own country. How can you ban singers, Canada? Singers and wind instruments, because we breathe. We breathe, but nobody else breathes. But we breathe. I think you should probably, get up a campaign against that or something, maybe some placards. I don't want to get coronavirus either, so I get it. No. And I have to say, I breathe a lot when I'm singing. No more than I think anybody else breathes. You sing moistly, is what you're saying? I sing moistly. I can't help it, Justin. I'm sorry. Yeah. So have you been composing at all during this time? No, don't tell anybody though. Don't tell anybody. No. Okay. Don't tell anybody. That's not true. That's not true. You know what I've been doing? I've been resting. I've been learning to rest my brain. I've been, I was learning German until even that was too much for my brain, but I do have a little bit in there now. But I've been doing something that I didn't know how to do, even with taking off the time for my brain injury. It was always
as soon as I can, like, just like, I'm going to like, look at my energy. Like, I'm like, get me back out there, get me back out there.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned in the last little bit is that really does not serve my body or my brain. And it's just not the way to go. So as much as I would love to be, and I did try initially to overload myself with like, I'm going to learn German, I'm going to create, why don't I pick up the bass again? Why don't I do this? Those things, actually, my brain said, no, actually, why don't you just sleep? And why don't you take a break? And why don't you listen to some books? So I have completed books on like, they're audiobooks, so I can't like really, brag. I don't think like,
it's a book.
It's a book. It's a book. James Hale. That's right. You're right. I completed books, which is something I couldn't do before because I was working all the time or doing stuff.
Sure.
So it's been nice. I'm still working, and doing a lot of admin, but I haven't really been writing. No.
Have you been thinking about kind of things? I'm going to float something past you, and I floated this.
Do you have a song idea?
One of the other nights, I was talking to Christian Sands, the pianist. I don't know if you know Christian or not. But his theory was that every musician is gonna leave this thing different than they went in, because he said, we're all so busy. We're either traveling or we're playing, or then we're back in a plane, back on a train. And he said, all this time, even if you're just sitting and thinking, you're going to leave this, having thought about different things than you would have normally, and think about trying different things, or you've practiced something different. Has that been your experience, or you really haven't done anything?
James, I have been thinking. Yes, I have been thinking. I have been evolving. Yes, Christian Sands is correct. I do believe that at the end of this, at least I think he's right. I think at the end of this, there will be something. It's just that what that something is still, it's a mystery for me. But I mean, I love this time. I think this to me is creative time, like the thinking time, the processing all the information coming in. Mm-hmm. But I admit, like, I haven't been looking at this and being like, I need to write about this, but I've been, I'm drawing. I'm enjoying the other aspects of my life that are creative. And I kid you not, like, I broke my brain, trying to overwork in the first couple of weeks of the lockdown, like broke it, like couldn't look at screens anymore. We'd have like shooting pains. Right. And somebody was like, okay, you need to rest. And so it turns out that like the pain still came like through like trying to learn German or trying to reading, that was still painful. And I'm like, well, what does that even look like? I had to call a friend and I'm like, so what does that mean? Like, what is rest? What is rest? I had to call people and ask them. And they were like, you just sit there. And I'm like,
what a concept.
I've discovered my porch.
Yeah. I
have a zero gravity chair. Thank you, Walmart. And it's awesome. And I'm learning bird calls. Oh. And yes. And there are 2 bunnies that live under my porch, and I've named them Jim and Nancy.
Oh, I got bunnies too.
Yeah.
We should introduce them, then we'll have lots of bunnies.
I don't think my neighbors with gardens are going to be appreciating that idea. But these are things like I have a regular routine now that involves going and sitting on my porch to eat my breakfast before I get started with the day. And I can be out there for 4 hours, sending emails and doing things now that I'm able to look at screens. But if this interview was a month ago, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Oh. So, I mean, it's all of this I know is part of a new person, I hope, that takes better care of herself.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, if that's all that comes out of it, that's good enough, I think.
Good enough.
Yeah. Well, enough about talking about music. Let's hear some music. We're just so excited to get to see you perform for us tonight. And as always, it's so fascinating to see people perform that haven't worked together before and see what connections they make. Seamus Blake is incredible. So aside from Seamus, tell us who you're playing with this evening and what we're going to be hearing.
Okay, well, we're going to be hearing a tune that I wrote, I think in 2014, after the lightning. So it was called Hands Up. And the whole concept behind it was just realizing that I had so little power, so little power in the plans that I was making for my life, and just how things can change in a heartbeat. Funny that, right? It's everybody's story. But I think when you are out there trying to do everything, you don't realize that until you're stopped from doing anything. And so that's the song. It's called Hands Up. And I'm very honored to be working with Clayton Connell. These are great musicians here in Canada, Stephen Adubofour and Caylan Penny on the bass. So, and then we were able to be matched up with the amazing Seamus Blake. Peter Kankura sent me a copy of the audio for this. And like, there was like a week where I was just like, I was jumping on my bed. Well, you know, jumping on my bed and like singing along with it. It feels great to see it, hear it, and to just see what everybody did with it. And so to now see the video paired with the audio, I'm excited.
Right. And I know you wanted to thank some people.
Maybe somebody named Catherine O'Grady. Honestly, thank you, Catherine. I think like we as consumers of festivals have a lot of opinions about like who should be playing and what the music should be at that festival. But when you're faced with no festival at all, you know, like that really is very sobering, I think. And I think the community is so happy that like she was like, let's do something and let's create something. And, you know, you don't realize, like, great, we're being paid and that's awesome, you know, as musicians, but there's a whole industry out there. People, the rigging people, the lighting people who put the stage together, the people that, you know, the volunteers at the festival who come and like clean up, make sure you have something to eat, all of the vendors. There's so many people who are not making any income right now because these festivals that, you know, I don't think we appreciate quite as much as we are appreciating them now are not out there. So I'm so thankful for this digital festival and that, you know, we have people in the background. You can't see them, but they're here listening to us. It's very creepy. But thank you, Sam and Julian. And then I don't really know the people who put this video together, but I thank them as well. So thank you to everybody that makes music, live music possible, and now even digitally fake live music possible. And I really, you know, I know it's selfish because I'm a musician, but I really hope that they have a virus soon so that we can all gather again on lawns all over the world and brave the elements, hoping that like we don't get rained out at festivals everywhere. It's an important part of our culture, I think, as important as Raptors basketball.
All right. Thank you, Kellylee. It's been a pleasure as always, and we're sending you a big virtual hug. All right. See you soon.
Bye. Thank you very much, James.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Music brings us together even when we're apart. That's why we're so proud to support Canadian music through events like the TD Ottawa Jazz Festival. It's just one more way that the TD Ready commitment is building a more inclusive tomorrow. Enjoy the show.
Time I'm playing, I'm winning. I know it's not only me. When I'm writing, these words keep coming, and all is as it should be. It's such a funny feeling, knowing, not hoping. I'm taking everything you see, and I can handle what you're dealing. Keep feeling I'm living through you for me. So, who do you want me to be? Who do you want me to love? I put my hands up. Tell me what you want me to know. I put my hands up. I'm letting go. Yeah. what's coming, I'm fighting to make them see. Cause all I know is when I'm running from me to me. Such a funny feeling knowing I'm hoping I'm taking everything I see. I give up giving you it, I'm on my knees. So, who do you want me to be? Who do you want me to love? Oh, I put my hands up, my hands up. Tell me what you want me to know. I put my hands up, my hands up. I'm letting go. The skies up, rise them high, rise up to this newfound high. Tell me, do you think that I can fly? Do you think that I should try? Seems I should take a look, I should be an open book. You're both the bait and hook, one right there, my will was shook. Thought that I was blind, thought that I was out my mind. Never knew what I would find, I don't know that I'll be fine. Hands up, oh, tell me what you want me to know. I put my hands up, my hands up, I'm letting go. Yeah. Who do you want me to be? Who do you want me to love? Oh, I put my hands up, my hands up. Tell me what you want me to know. I put my hands up, my hands up. Tell me what you want me to know. I put my hands up, my hands up. Tell me what you want me to know. I put my hands up, my hands up. I'm letting go. Yeah. Nah. No,
Well, I think we can understand why Kellylee was jumping on her bed to that one. That is amazing. That's so good. Haven't heard Seamus Blake in a long time in person. Looking forward to doing that again soon. You've been listening to Kellylee Evans along with Seamus Blake on saxophone, Clayton Connell on keyboards, Caylan Penny on bass, and Steve Adubofour on drums. We hope you've enjoyed this Tenacity presentation, and we really hope you'll be able to join us for more. We've got two big shows for you tomorrow. At 5 p.m. Eastern, you'll be able to hear Hayden Chisholm and the DK Heroes direct from Belgrade. That's about as far away as we get. And then at 7, we're going to be joined by 4 of Ottawa's finest musicians, Roddy Elias, John Geggy, Steve Boudreau, and Michael Hanna. That's all for this evening. I'm James Hale. As always, stay cool and keep supporting the music. Good night.